you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Are you facing a legal problem and don't know where to turn? You need trial attorneys you can trust. Liberty Law Group's experienced trial attorneys will handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Whether you have been accused of a crime, injured in an accident, or threatened with a lawsuit, you can trust that Liberty Law will be there for you. Call for a free consultation and find out how Liberty Law can protect your rights and interests. That's 877-42-LIBERTY, 877-42-LIBERTY. Or visit libertylawnebraska.com. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you can trust.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends. The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
What's the radon level at your home? Don't know? Find out with a call to Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Make sure your home is safe with a radon check from Bryant. If you've already tested, ask Bryant for a free estimate for mitigation. Once completed, you'll get a report showing how much safer your home is. When it comes to radon, call Bryant 467-1111 for testing and mitigation. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
It takes hard work to make Nebraska the right place to raise a family, build a business, or grow a community. We're counting on working parents to make it happen, and they're counting on childcare professionals to have their backs. Employers and other contributors can earn up to a $100,000 tax credit for strengthening childcare in our communities and state. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First Five Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Early break. All I can still picture is him talking to Bill Murray's son. And that was one of my, I could just see him. Hey, listen, your dad was awesome in stripes, but you need to shuddy. You need to shuddy.
Shut your mouth,
Shuddy.
Mr. Murray.
Yes, your dad was incredible. And what about Bob? Just stop.
I've never heard shuddy before.
Hey, I love
shuddy.
I love
Hey,
Groundhog.
Shuddy.
I'm going with that now forever.
I love
With Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to it. This is Old School, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredient Butcher Shop. We're down here at Buffalo Wings and Rings for one more hour. Austin Norman with you, Jay Foreman on vacation. Jake Sorensen, man of the hour, handing out prizes Some Arizona fans right now, bear down or something like that. Arizona and Akron coming up later tonight. Let me know if there's a game that has your interest on tonight's slate. 402-464-5685. We'll get to that here in the course of the first segment, and plenty more to come. A couple games in progress right now. You have number 4 seed in the West, Maryland, opening up a 15-point advantage over Grand Canyon up in, I believe that is Seattle. Maryland led that one 42-28 at the half, a 9-8 advantage in the first 6 minutes here of the second half. Grand Canyon made a little bit of a run last year, made some noise. Didn't go as far as I wanted or needed them to. Shout out the Loaf, but I was picking against them. I am very high on what has been lovingly coined by DMV area fans, the Crab 5. Maryland gets some of the least bench production, not just in the NCAA tournament, but in the country. And I believe that's the case again today. Yeah, of Maryland's 51 points, only 4 of them have come from the bench. That's Deshaun Harris-Smith, who's 2 of 2 for 4 points. Otherwise, the remaining 47 points from the Terps have all come from their starters. Paced right now by Julian Reese with 14 points and 7 rebounds. You also have Jacoby Gillespie with 14 points. He's made a couple threes, 3 boards, 3 assists for him as well. Derek Queen, next point, will give him a double-double, 9 points and 10 boards to go with 2 block shots and 2 assists as well. This Maryland team is begrudgingly fun. Don't love them that they beat Nebraska twice. Huskers gave them a good game a couple times. Maryland's talented. I still don't know exactly how they do it, but darned if the Terps aren't pretty darn consistent. And I think they have plenty of motivation coming off the loss the way they did to Michigan in the Big Ten tournament semifinals. Men's college basketball scores, again, about 1 minute and 10 seconds left. The Sandbaggin' Tar Heels have come all the way back to within a possession. It is 66-63. Ole Miss leads North Carolina. Rebs were up by 18 at the break. It was 44-26. If you've watched any North Carolina basketball at any point this year, you knew this game wasn't over. What comes to mind first for me would have been the game that North Carolina played against Duke in the ACC tournament semifinals. Duke got up by 23 points. Carolina got it back to within a whopping 1 point before ultimately you have a player miss a free throw and Jalen Withers commit the most fantastic lane violation I have ever seen in my life that ends up all but securing the win for Duke, especially after Con Knippel would move on and hit a couple free throws to ice it. Carolina did that in both games against Duke as well. They lost by 17 in Cameron and by 13 in Chapel Hill. Duke got up big. Carolina came back and took a 7-point lead, but Duke would end up winning that game by 13. Carolina did kind of the same thing against Wake Forest, but let's just go through the history of some Carolina near comebacks. Against Kansas, second game of the year for both of these schools, Kansas was up 15 at half. Carolina loses by 3. It was 53-38. Carolina hangs 51 in the second half before they lose by 3. Against Dayton in Maui, Dayton was up 18 at half, 51-33. Sound familiar? Carolina comes back with 59 points in the final 20 minutes. They win it by 2 in the Maui Invitational. You think about Michigan State. That's a game Carolina was down by 9 at the break before losing by 3 in overtime. They gave Florida a bit of a game, down by 12. They would make a run, ultimately lose by 6. Carolina UCLA, down 8 at the break. Carolina storms back to win by 2. So this is what North Carolina does. I have not at all been surprised to see that the Tar Heels came back in this one. It's now a 5-point game in favor of Ole Miss with 52 seconds left to play. It's 69-64. Should be a fun action-packed night coming up later tonight. Florida and Norfolk State. Been a bit of a mixed bag for 1 seed so far. Duke and Houston were dominant. Auburn got that way eventually. Norfolk State, if you don't remember, is probably best known not for a 1-16, but a 2-5 matchup. It was Norfolk State that took down Missouri in Omaha back in the early mid-2000s. We'll see if Norfolk State can do the darn thing and bust any remaining brackets tonight, coming up in about half an hour in the West Region first round in Raleigh. In Milwaukee, after this Carolina-Ole Miss game gets done, it'll be Kentucky and Troy. Really cool story there. Mark Pope has offered to pay the gas money for any Kentucky fans who show proof of a ticket to him. Send him your receipt, Cats fans, and guess what? Mark Pope, former NBA player, will pay for your gas money. You have Marquette in New Mexico. This is a game I have circled. I've been a little let down by Marquette. I was very high on the Golden Eagles coming into the year. I was also very vocal about how much of a Rich Pitino enemy I was. Not a big Richard Pitino guy, but darned if the Lobos haven't been good. They win the Mountain West by a game in the regular season, 17-3. Colorado State, who beat Memphis earlier today, was 16-4. Look at Utah State, a game back of that, 15-5. Boise State, San Diego State at 14-6. New Mexico's really good. I could see New Mexico winning a couple games in this tournament. I think I only have them advancing past Marquette in this one, but I've been a fan of Marquette for a while. Not like I root for them that hard, but I like their color scheme. They've had some really fun players in the past, and there's nothing really for me to oppose Marquette about, right? If Marquette's on TV, odds are good I'm going to be cheering for Marquette. I like a lot of stuff about that program, and they've had some really fun players. I think back to the Hauser brothers. I think back to Marcus Howard, all sorts of other players. I don't know what the full draw to Marquette is for me, but I'm about it. I got some Arizona fans sitting in front of me here. It's not the reason I'm going to say this. I just don't think Arizona has many problems with Akron. Now, trust me, I do know and I do remember Tommy Lloyd's relatively checkered recent history in the NCAA tournament. Cough, cough, Princeton, cough, cough. I'm just not a huge believer in Akron necessarily. Maybe the game of the night could be in the West Region first round in Raleigh after we get Florida Norfolk State. That could be UConn and Oklahoma. This game, if it's not a game played in the mid to upper 80s or beyond, I would be surprised. UConn, its struggles have been on the defensive end this year. Oklahoma, one of the smaller teams, don't really have a true post that's going to match up with Terrace Reed for UConn. I could see this one being a track meet. I could see this one going up and down all night long in the 8-9 matchup. Oklahoma, a really interesting inclusion into the NCAA tournament as a 9 seed. This is a Sooners team that rolled through the non-conference, went 13-0. They beat Providence by a bucket. They beat Arizona by 5. They beat Louisville. They beat Georgia Tech, who's an NIT team. They beat Michigan by 1. They start SEC play 0-4. If losses to Alabama, A&M, Georgia, and Texas. They go just 6-12 in SEC play before they beat Texas, Georgia, and Kentucky later on in the year as part of or lost to Kentucky, by 1 because of Otega Oweh in the SEC tournament to bow out of it. But Jeremiah Fears is a really polarizing player, especially for NBA draft nicks. He's a guy that some people love the talent. They love his abilities on the ball. Others say, hey, that's a small lead guard who doesn't offer anything except scoring. That's not necessarily an archetype that succeeds in the NBA, but he's not there yet, and we're not there yet. Jeremiah Fears could very well get hot and do his best Kemba Walker impression. Would I bet on it? No. I pick UConn. I think UConn's just a little bit too well-rounded for Oklahoma, but it would not shock me if Jeremiah Fears puts Oklahoma on his back for a weekend or two. I would be here for it. I would absolutely love to see it. You would sign me up for that in a heartbeat. Not that I'm some Sooners lover by any stretch of the imagination. I am just anti-UConn, and Florida's good. I don't have anything major against Florida, but I wouldn't be necessarily overly disappointed if they were to bow out here on opening weekend. Then rounding out the rest of the schedule tonight, you have Bryant, Michigan State. You have Oregon and Liberty. That one's a little bit intriguing. Maybe the other game of the night for me, though, Illinois and Xavier. If you know what to make of either of these two teams, please, please, please let me know. The X-Men have been playing like a top 20 team in the country for the better part of the last couple weeks. They're 22-11 right now. They had to come from behind to beat Texas in the first 4 in Dayton. This Xavier team has not lost since they went to Villanova. They started a long winning streak against Providence back on February the 12th. It's been over a month since the X-Men have lost. Since a 12-point loss on the road at Villanova, Xavier's beat Providence, DePaul, Butler, Seton Hall, so kind of middle bottom of the pack in the Big East. They dominated Creighton by 22, beat Butler and Providence again before a 2-point loss in the Big East tournament to Marquette. Before that loss to Nova, they beat Georgetown. They lost narrowly to Creighton. They beat UConn, lost pretty narrowly to St. John's, and won on the road at Marquette as well. Zach Fremantle, his health is always a bit of a risk. Davion McKnight is an absolutely fun player. Another guy that I could see doing a Kemba Walker light sort of impression. I'm not fully buying the X-Men, except that they're playing Illinois. If there is a more schizophrenic team in the country, I would love to see it. Some of Illinois' issue has been injuries. Absolutely. Right? You have a Visich missing some time. Jakob Jonas is probably getting worn down. This is the most games he's played in his career in quite a while. But this is a talented Illinois team. When everyone is healthy, it's constructed the way that Brad Underwood wants to play basketball. Problem is, not everyone has been healthy quite the whole time. So if you tell me Illinois ends up making a run to the Elite Eight, 0% of me is surprised. This is a team that was picked pretty highly in the Big Ten in the preseason. If you tell me Illinois flames out in this game against Xavier, I also would be exactly 0% surprised. Let's go to our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line here. Eric on our text line says, I'm not intrigued by any of the games tonight, Austin. None of them. Wrestling semis start at 8. A huge shout out to Husker Wrestling and the weekend Coach Manning and the boys are having. I would say down there, except it's up in Philly. At one point, Huskers were second in the team standings. I doubt that's changed because of the number of wrestlers they've put through. Nebraska Wrestling is in great position right now. Best of luck to the squad in the semifinals tonight. We'll take our first break of the show. More from Buffalo Wings and Rings when we get back to Old School.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open at 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day, and it will be breezy. It's an afternoon high near 56. Tonight, mainly clear skies and light winds, below around 29. And tomorrow, we'll see partly sunny skies return. It'll be breezy with an afternoon high near 64. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play it against sports at 48th and Vine.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get the Buffalo Wings and Rings today on 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Another half an hour or so here from Buffalo Wings and Rings. Austin Orman with you. We got Jake Sorensen on his way in as well. Through one quarter of play, your Nebraska Cornhuskers have a 16-14 lead over the Louisville Cardinals. Right now, it is Alexis Markowski leading the way for the Big Red. She has 7 of Nebraska's 16 points. She's 3 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 from three-point range. Jess Petrie, 4 points on 2 of 3. Brett Prince has hit a 3, and Petra Bojan has a layup off the bench. Nebraska and Louisville tied in rebounds. Huskers have assisted on every one of their 7 made baskets so far, have also blocked 2 shots in the early going. Let's bring in Jake Sorensen here. Jake, Nebraska with that 16-14 lead. Now 19-14 is the Nebraska lead as Logan Nishley gets in on the scoring action with a 3. I know you and Strick talked about this a little bit, but Nebraska, of course, playing on the court where its last NIT run ended on the men's side after they beat Butler in the Barry Collier Bowl here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. But, Jake, when you look at this Nebraska women's team, the closest sort of comparison I can draw for another program is it feels like it's in Bo Pelini mode right now. You know what the floor is. Yep. You know what you're going to get. Is there ever going to be a next step for this program up to what it was under, say, Connie Yori?
Sure. I think that it's possible. I mean, this year we talked about Natalie Potts' injury early on affected the team. I mean, she was averaging 17 points a game. She was seen as a preseason all Big Ten, at least second or third team player, and you lose her in the first 5 games, and the season just changes trajectory. Now, we can't forget that Britt Prince, again, she was wonderful, but she also was a true freshman. You do lose Markowski to graduation, which is unfortunate, but I still think that, you know, Amy Williams is doing a nice job, and you're right. You want to be a 3 seed or a 4 seed, not a 10 seed. And now, don't forget, they did win a game last year. Like you mentioned, they beat A&M.
I was there.
And you were in Corvallis covering that wonderfully. They lost to Oregon State the second round, and it's too bad, but they did advance. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to sound maybe bad, but there's nothing wrong with Bo Pelini. I mean, now that after the fact that people complain about, oh, Bo was not nice to the fans or was not mean to the media. Well, guess what? We would kill for 9-4 right now. Right now, that gets you at least in the playoff conversation for football. So
you'd kill for 4 in 9. That's how many times Amy Williams has made the NCAA tournament.
Right.
Think about that on the men's side, making the NCAA tournament pretty much every other year.
I would take that in a heartbeat. I mean, I brought up earlier with Strick that I was in college when Nebraska had the epic run as a 1 seed. In women's basketball, they were 32-0.
Kelsey Griffin.
They lost in the Big 12 tournament, so they didn't win the conference tournament, but they still were a 1-loss team, a 1 seed in the women's tournament. Went to the Sweet 16, got beat by Kentucky there, unfortunately. But that was just a fun year with Corey Montgomery, Vonnie Turner, Dominique Kelly and you mentioned Kelsey Griffin, Lindsey Moore. I mean, just a super fun team, and I think it's possible. I think it is. I don't know what the NIL is like in women's basketball versus other sports or what it's like at UConn and other schools compared to Nebraska. But if Nebraska shows signs of life, they can be a top half team. I would assume that NIL would be up there and that they'd start getting more players. But don't forget, Britt Prince was a 5-star player, and keeping her in state was not a given.
No.
And you hope to keep her happy and keep her around and hope that she can maybe do some peer recruiting. And then we'll see what happens after that.
I'm glad you said NIL because I do think that women's basketball is going to end up being a program, Jake, that has to dip in more to the NIL side of things than the rev share. This women's basketball program strikes me as just that good, solid worker that the bosses don't check in on that much because you don't have to, because you know what they're going to bring to the table. They're just going to plug away. They're going to do some good, solid work. And sometimes that's not necessarily fair to that worker bee, right? That's doing a really good job. That's doing everything expected of it. Sometimes doing a little bit more, rarely, if ever, doing a little bit less.
Right.
I would want a program like that to be rewarded. Except, again, in the grand scheme of things, it makes sense that if Nebraska can raise the funds to have RevShare take care of the two money-making programs on the men's side and maybe sneak volleyball in there, and then you can do, baseball. I'd put kind of in a boat ascending to that level of a workman-like program, right? Certainly the wrestling team that's in first or second place now at the NCAA championships. Track and field, certainly national caliber. Gymnastics is up there. Sports like that don't deserve to be left out of the equation. It's just going to have to be two separate pies, probably.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure when that comes into play or what that looks like, but you're right. It's just going to be interesting over time. I mean, we still NIL's been around for a couple of years, Austin, and we still learn something every day about it. People tell you don't always believe what you see, and sometimes they say no, believe what you hear. That's reality. So it's really hard to know, again, numbers that are real and which are not real, which are more incentive based possibly, or what it could be at a max. I'm not sure we'll ever officially know contracts like we know in the NFL or in any professional sport, but yeah, it is going to be a different pool. But the important thing is that there's going to be money in the pool for all the programs. Just how much is there, and how much can that help Nebraska in recruiting or other schools in recruiting compared to other sports?
Huskers up 23-18 on Louisville. About 7 minutes to go in the second quarter down in Dallas-Fort Worth. It's Maryland up by 23 points with 6.5 to go over Grand Canyon right now. And Ole Miss puts away North Carolina by 7, 71-64, the final in Milwaukee. Jake, let's have this conversation here. Okay. Jeff Borzello tweets this out. On the men's side, Duke is officially the only ACC team in the round of 32. According to ESPN Stats and Info, the first time since the NCAA started allowing multiple teams from the same conference into the tournament. So it's the first time since 75. The ACC will have one or fewer teams in the round of 32. So there's that fact on its own. The ACC only got 4 teams in. The Big Ten, on the other hand, got 8, 9 teams? 8 teams into the dance. Would you rather be the ACC and have fewer teams, but be all but assured to see one of your teams go on a run like the ACC has had the last few years? Or would you rather be the Big Ten, have more bites at the apple, but continue that national championship drought that's been going on since the year 2000?
It's a big question. I still think, Duke can obviously save the conference by winning it all. They have at this point, they have to win it all to make it even worthwhile. Final Four still is a bad year for the ACC. One team made it. Congrats. All year we heard about the ACC being down, and it's been confirmed in this tournament. Louisville got smoked by Creighton. Carolina made it interesting, but they were down big a lot of the game to Ole Miss. And Clemson looked horrible against McNeese in a loss, where they came back and made it look good in the box score, but they were never really in that game. So yeah, Duke can save the bacon of the conference, but like I said, it is almost championship or bust to give any resolve for that conference. And so, I guess to answer the question, I want more bites at the apple. I think the Big Ten, they don't have a team as scary as Duke. Obviously, Michigan State on any night can go far. They could be a Final Four team, but I also love the way that Wisconsin played against Montana. Wisconsin is scoring at a level we've not seen in a long time for them, and they played good enough defense. So I think they could, BYU, Wisconsin be a phenomenal game tomorrow when that happens. Oregon, I think they'll lose to Liberty tonight. I got the upset in that one.
You do? Okay.
But Oregon also had won 8 straight games prior to their loss in the Big Ten tournament. And don't forget about. I don't buy Purdue. I think they could lose to McNeese. Honestly, tomorrow. I think McNeese is your Cinderella 12 seed going to the Sweet 16.
Well, they got Purdue. I mean, that's easy pickings typically.
I'm taking McNeese in that one, even though I picked neither of those teams to be in that game. I picked High Point and I picked Clemson. So what do I know about basketball? But then I'm forgetting. UCLA. I mean, they won by 25 points against Utah State. Tennessee's a scary game, but man, Mick Cronin is a phenomenal coach. Don't count out UCLA tomorrow against Tennessee, or don't count them out in general.
I didn't. I have UCLA in the second weekend. I got UCLA over Tennessee. That's a game that ought to be a rock
versus
fight.
Cronin. Beautiful. I mean, we've got think about the match we have. Awesome. We've got Rick Barnes against Mick Cronin. We've got Calipari against Rick Pitino.
Mm-hmm. We get Sampson versus Few.
Oh, that's awesome.
You get Grant McCaslin versus Ben McCollum. Those are two guys that go back a long way, that know each other. What else are we going to get? On Sunday, we're going to get Duke against Jeremy Roach.
Chris Beard against TJ Otzemiller. Okay.
Ooh, yeah,
that's kind of sneaky good,
that's
right?
Sneaky fun. That's sneaky fun. Michigan State versus Marquette or
so
that could be
Shaka
interesting.
Smart or Richard Pitino.
So if it's Izzo versus Shaka, we get a flip of just a couple years ago. Marquette was the 2, Michigan State was the 7.
Okay.
And Michigan State took him down. I do want to hop off on your Wisconsin point for just a minute here. I have been praying on the downfall of Wisconsin men's basketball and athletics, really, but basketball for a number of years. I don't like Greg Gard. He
changed this year somehow, Austin. Something with John Tonji and Blackwell.
You took the words right out of my mouth. But the way that he plays so slow, execute 2 bigs, one of them might space the floor, one of them might not. The way he just extracted every last drop of efficient offense from those groups, still played good enough defense. Like, it was platonic ideal Big Ten. It was them and Purdue for those style of Big Ten teams. For him to, in one offseason, make the switch from playing Big Ten basketball to playing like Iowa, but like what I was always wanted to be under Fran McCaffrey, as much as I hate to do it, I have to give him begrudging props for it.
Right.
Like, it's impressive what he did with that team.
Absolutely. I think that Greg Gard, again, nobody in the world expected Wisconsin to change their script. Like you said, Greg Gard has been the same coach forever there. John Tonji has been beyond excellent. I mean, he's going to, was he a first team All-American or not?
No.
Second team? He should have been second team at first team if he was not. Excellent player for Wisconsin. And who saw that kind of year coming from John Tonji? Omaha native, oh, by the way. Mm-hmm. And then, I love Blackwell and Ethan, Stephen Crowell has done a nice job this year. So you never thought that a Badger team would consistently be in the mid to high 80s. I mean, don't forget, they scored 116 points against Iowa. Iowa scored 85 points in the game and lost by 30 to Wisconsin of all teams this year. So fun to watch. I mean, for the first time ever, Wisconsin's fun to watch, and I am with you. I've been looking forward to their downfall. They appeared to be on the way down the last couple of years, but Greg Gard reinvented himself, became like a new Kirk with Kirk Ferentz of Iowa. And
it's like if Kirk Ferentz went Mike Leach.
That'd be kind of funny.
That's exactly what it was.
Mike Leach, Hal Mummy started the air raid. He's at Iowa Western, so it makes sense for Iowa to go back to that, right?
It would. John Tonji was indeed a second-team All-American type of player. On the third team, Jake, we can all rejoice that Ryan Kalkbrenner is now gone from Creighton. I don't want to give him too many props.
We beat him twice, though.
We did beat him twice out of 4 tries.
On his court, by the way.
On his court twice. Are you happy to see Ryan Kalkbrenner gone? Do you respect what he did for Creighton? Where are you at on your well, I guess Nebraska's done playing him. They still have yet to lose to Auburn. But now that Nebraska is done seeing Ryan Kalkbrenner, where are you at with his legacy as a Husker fan looking at it?
Well, I respect him. I don't like – everyone knows that I don't like Creighton at all. I do respect him. It's funny he took 1 shot against Nebraska this year. One shot. One single shot. So way to go, Fred and Nate Lenzer. No, it did not go in. So credit to Nebraska. I mean, he's still – I think at times you can call him soft, but his stats are great. He's a great shot blocker. He still scores a bunch of points. He gets rebounds and sometimes disappears in big games. But I'm telling you, if you want to talk about a legacy game, tomorrow he's going to go against an Auburn team that right now is scuffling. They're a 1 seed. They've lost 3 or 4 coming in. They looked really, really subpar against Alabama State. If I'm Creighton, I am licking my chops. I hate saying it. I hate it with all my will. But Creighton looked so good yesterday They hit their threes. Neal had 29 points, and it wasn't just the Kalkbrenner and Ashworth show. If that happens again, Auburn is on major upset alert tomorrow. Major. And that can really define the legacy of Ryan Kalkbrenner. And these words just kill me saying this on the radio and giving them praise and respect. But, I mean, yeah, he's not their best big they've ever had. He's got to be in the conversation, obviously. But I respect him. I really do.
Which number 1 seed is on bigger upset alert? Auburn against Creighton or Houston against Gonzaga?
Auburn against Creighton.
Really?
Yep. Gonzaga looked really, really good. I mean, they're up 27-3 against Georgia. I've been saying it all day. I mean, the 1 seed playing the worst basketball is Auburn. Auburn has been scuffling. Like I said, they just did not look right against Alabama State. And Houston won by 38 points against Southern Illinois, Edwardsville.
They did.
I know it's really hard. I guess I think Mark Few's a better coach than Greg McDermott. They're both really, really good coaches. But I think that I would say the more likely team to lose is Auburn of the 1 seeds compared to Houston versus Gonzaga.
And see, what we're seeing in Houston-Gonzaga is a KenPom top 10 matchup. Despite the struggles for Gonzaga, the predictive metrics are still off the charts for this team. I think when you look at it on the surface, I 100% agree. Auburn has been kind of stuck in the mud a little bit, but I still think Auburn has a gear that Houston doesn't, which is weird to say because I've been a huge Houston respecter. But when I look at these two teams, the best player between them is Janai Broome.
Yes, he is.
Has probably the tougher matchup.
No questions there.
In March, you need a team. You want a team, but you also need a player to take over some of these moments. Milos Uzan has been good for Houston, but that's a really recent development. LJ Cryer's been good for Houston. Maybe he's underrated. I don't know if I trust either of those guys. I don't know if I trust Juwan Roberts to the same level that I do Janai Broome. If you need a bucket late in a game, I would rather have Janai Broome going to work on Ryan Kalkbrenner than I would have like Milos Uzan going to work on Nembhard or someone like that for Gonzaga.
This is a Houston team that I know you're trying to talk me into following you on them being the more likely team to lose. This is a Houston team that won the Big 12 by 4 games.
Yes.
In a conference that, by the way, boasts 2 different 3 seeds. Iowa State pummeled Lipscomb today. And Texas Tech, won by they weren't amazing. They won by 10 against Wilmington last night. But they won the conference by 4 games over 2 separate 3 seeds. That stuff matters. It does. You question them all you want. Their defense is always there.
Oh, I'm not questioning them. Don't get me wrong.
Their offense is not the level of the elite teams in basketball, but it's good enough. And their defense just is always there. We talk about how St. John's right now. To me, they're very similar to St. John's. Houston and St. John's are a very close type of basketball with really good defense. They're not elite shooting teams, but they play 40 minutes of really tough basketball. And St. John's has been this year the best by far second half team in basketball. And they proved it again last night by outscoring Omaha by 25 points in the second half. But I don't know if do you have the same questions about Houston as you have for St. John's as a 2 seed in that bracket?
I do not, because St. John's is where Houston was just a few years ago. Houston actually learned to shoot. Houston's like a top 10 shooting team in the sport. I need to pull this up here just because I think it's hilarious, and I hope it's still true. Yeah, so Jake, the top 2 comparisons for efficiency profiles for this St. John's team, Louisville in 2012 and
Rick
Louisville
Pitino.
in 2015.
That'd be Rick Pitino teams.
That'd be Rick Pitino and Rick Pitino. Oh, and by the way, how about Louisville in 2009?
Rick Pitino.
Rick Pitino knows what he's doing. He got a roster that fit him. A team like St. John's, a team like Michigan State, I am always going to bet against in March. But it feels really bad when they're led by a coach the caliber of Rick Pitino. It goes to show you how much coaching can matter to get you to this point. But then, Jake, coaching, as much as it matters, takes a back seat sometimes in these games. I don't know who I give the advantage to I know who I give it to in St. John's and Arkansas. That's going Rick Pitino's way by a million. But Kelvin Sampson versus Mark Few, that's about as even as you're going to get. Two wildly different teams.
I'm standing by what I said. The more likely team to lose as a 1 seed is is Auburn to Creighton compared to Houston Gonzaga. But I'd say this: if I am pissed if I'm Houston to see Gonzaga as an 8 seed, though. I'm like, really? That's an 8 seed?
Mm-hmm. Well, it reminds me of Kentucky when they got that Wichita State team.
Yeah, that same thing. Really?
2017.
Really? That's an 8 seed?
That one?
Yeah.
Of all teams, I completely agree. Let's take our last break of the show. We'll wrap things up for the week from Wings and Rings right after this.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I'm Chief Dave Engler. When a fire truck hits a pothole with 12 tons of fast-moving equipment and crew, it's a problem. On your ballot in April is a measure to continue Lincoln's quarter-cent sales tax for street improvements. A vote against eliminates the street funding. A vote for will not raise your taxes and keeps the funding in place. And better roads means faster response times. Learn more at LincolnOnTheMove.com.
We use our Lincoln streets every day, and so do first responders. But visitors and out-of-town commuters also do. A quarter-cent sales tax for streets passed by voters in 2019 makes those commuters pay about $6 million a year to improve streets. On your ballot in April is a measure to continue it. A vote against means no more funds from commuters. A vote for will not raise your taxes, and commuters still pay. Learn more at LincolnOnTheMove.com. Paid for by the City of Lincoln.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Are you facing a legal problem and don't know where to turn? You need trial attorneys you can trust. Liberty Law Group's experienced trial attorneys will handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Whether you have been accused of a crime, injured in an accident, or threatened with a lawsuit, you can trust that Liberty Law will be there for you. Call for a free consultation and find out how Liberty Law can protect your rights and interests. That's 877-42-LIBERTY, 877-42-LIBERTY. Or visit libertylawnebraska.com. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you can trust.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket. Every Saturday morning now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
You're listening to coverage of the NCAA tournament live from Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One final time from Wings and Rings for the week. Once again, a huge shout out to the great people down here on 68th and O Street for their hospitality the last couple of days and really the last month and change. We were down here for the Super Bowl as well. Love getting to come down here in February and March. At the very least, certainly make it down more than just those few times. Austin Norman, Jake Sorensen with you here for just a couple more minutes. It's Louisville leading Nebraska 36-32 at the break. Nebraska consistent, 16 points in either quarter. The Ville picked it up. They scored 22 to lead it by 4. The Ville. So they call themselves.
I know. I kind of forget about that. Louisville.
It's Louisville, but it's Louisville.
Louisville.
The Ville, they do this.
It's like you're talking with your mouth full.
Yeah, like a mouthful of marbles.
Yeah.
Louisville. Maybe
Weirdos.
Let's make them Loserville tonight, Husker Nation. We will certainly have to see. A couple things to get to here, Jake. Just really quickly, this question. Bigger offseason, Kansas or North Carolina men's basketball?
You know, I'm going to say, that's a good question. North Carolina, because Kansas has been consistently good under Bill Self. They had a rough year. I like to understand this conversation about the NIL. They complain about the money they have. I can't imagine that Dickinson was cheap. I can't imagine Zeke Mayo was cheap, although he's from Lawrence.
Store got his mill.
Right. I mean, I don't understand. Like, you're trying to complain that you don't have the money to keep up, and it doesn't add up to the roster, which seems to be one of the more expensive ones in the country. So I don't really get that. And I think the money is fine. They say the NIL is not great, but I just say be better with your money, apparently. Carolina they haven't been great for a while. Even when they made the final, they were not a high seed that year.
No.
Hubert Davis, to me, is not the answer there. Again, a popular former player, obviously a former broadcaster before he went to be a coach again. I'd be surprised if many fans want him to be the long-term answer. I don't think that he is, and so
too bad for them. He just got an extension,
which I don't get that. Also, I really
he got Bubba's extra $100,000. Of course, he was going to get the extension.
I guess. And again, that is a guy that did make a run and made it all the way to the finals, lost the finals, but no, I think it's a bigger question there. Now, the question with Kansas is going to be: does Bill Self want to keep doing this? There's rumors throughout the year that in the offseason, he talked to Oklahoma State, his alma mater, a place that he always has interest in, at least in seeing them do well. I'm not saying that job opens, but it asks the question.
He's had a coach in the first year.
Does Bill Self want to keep coaching in basketball? Now, if he were to step down, then obviously that's the bigger question. But if in this scenario where both coaches are still there, I got way bigger questions for Carolina, who had one quad one, or I guess with being San Diego State, they have 2 quad 1 wins this year. I always can count.
No, they just got the one. San Diego State was still a Q2.
He had 1 quad 1 win.
13.
I tend to believe in Bill Self. He also has a recent title.
He does
to back him up. So to me, actually, I would say hands down, Carolina bigger questions than Kansas.
I would tend to agree. But the biggest question is: this the year regression hits Salvador Perez, or can Salvi keep it going? Jake,
how is he? 36?
He is 35.
35. History says it probably should hit him at some point this year, but he was really good last year. It's not always even about regression. It's about, can he keep staying healthy? He's battled injuries throughout his career, and and he missed 1 full season, I believe. which was a horrendous,
2019.
which was a horrible season for the Royals. Just kind of was the vibe with the whole.
One of many.
Didn't they fall down the steps, something like that?
No, that was with Elway. He had Tommy John.
Okay.
And then he had like that weird thing in his eye at
Yeah.
some point last year, early in the year.
Yeah. I mean, it probably should be a regression year, but Salvador Perez is awesome and sometimes superhuman, and I think he loves playing with Bobby Witt, and how could you not? So let's say he carries on for one more great season. The Royals, we talked about yesterday, should be in the conversation for the postseason. I like the rotation. The question again is can Lugo be as good as he was last year as he's getting older? And Michael Wacha, same thing, got an extension. Love Wacha, but he's getting up there too in age a little bit for a pitcher with all the innings he's pitched. So Salvi is just been a linchpin for the organization, and I hope for his sake and Royals fans that he has one more really good year.
Well,
if not more than one.
Oh,
year.
absolutely. I'm banking on 2 or 3 for Salvi, and that I think pretty clearly gets him into Cooperstown, not just the Royals Hall of Fame. How worried are you about the dangerous R-word regression for Seth Lugo?
Big time. As I just mentioned,
Okay.
I mean, Lugo was last year a Cy Young contender. I don't think anybody saw that coming. I mean, you and I talked before the year that I like Lugo. I'm optimistic, but what he pulled off with a low 3 ERA, and Reagan's doing the same thing. I believe Reagan can do that again. He is a certified ace. One of the best pitchers in the American League. Yeah, Lugo scares me a little bit, and he's been okay in spring training. Not great, not bad, but he had a lot of innings last year.
He did,
and he's 34 now.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's getting up there for a lot of innings for a guy that also was part of his career a bullpen guy.
That's why I'm a little less worried about it, because it should be a relatively fresh arm for being 34. So he's been in the league a long time, but last year it was a big jump in innings. I'm not as worried about spring training for this reason, Jake. He tinkers. The man throws a dozen pitches.
Yep.
You can go and buy an overpriced dozen of them at your local grocery store. I keep hearing this comparison, and no one is this pitcher. So don't take this as me saying he is this guy, but I'm hearing lots of similarities between him and Zach Greinke. Where Zach Greinke at 34, when he was with Milwaukee and
Right.
Arizona toward the end of his career in Los Angeles before he moved on, even to Houston then, Zach could throw it hard, but not that hard. But what he had, no matter what, command,
Placement,
control, and variety. If Seth Lugo, if the Royals get the back end of Zach Greinke's career in the person of Seth Lugo, I'm okay with that.
And
it's
number
on
one,
the table.
and what a great move by Piccolo, if that's the case too. JJ Piccolo gets a lot of credit. I mean, he to me has been a great GM for the Royals.
Yes.
Piccolo has had very few mistakes. I mean, there's obviously some mistakes out there, but
no crippling ones.
No crippling ones. And getting Lugo the deal they had him for, and getting Bobby Witt signed to, I still think is an incredible deal for the Royals for long term. I mean, that he'd have to do that at all, Bobby Witt. That was incredible thinking by Piccolo and Sherman for doing that as well. I love the move for Jonathan India. I mean, that you have you have a need for a leadoff batter in this organization. So if you go India Witt 1-2, which is going to be, I mean, it should be a better chance of Bobby to get some RBIs, which you had a lot of, by the way, but also just somebody on base to give you some confidence. Hey, all right, we got a chance to score in the first inning or the fourth or the seventh.
An India walk, a Bobby Witt Jr. double, and a Vinny Pasquantino double. It's going to happen 30, and then here comes Salvi. I'm dreaming already. Big Bang Hank on our text line.
Maybe Renfroe rebounds this year.
He's had a good spring.
Listen,
we'll see about
it's
it.
a key
We'll
to
see
this
about
team
it.
is the Renfroe revitalization.
The Melendez mash.
Yeah,
which I'm not
MJ's important too.
holding out hope for that one necessarily. Yes, the Royals do still need some more offense. I would definitely feel more comfortable there. I'm excited. Opening week is in just 6 days. I know I'm going to be talking about it more. Maybe you can get a word or two in edgewise about that on early break.
Yes.
But,
I'll get some talk in there. Right.
Good.
I love the Royals, and
Excellent.
I still, I know he's not there anymore. Ned Yost is still near and dear to my heart.
Mhm.
And by the way, congrats to Alex Gordon for being the newest KC Royals Hall of Famer announced last week.
Nebraska's very own. That'll do it for us here at Wings and Rings. We're going to put a lid on it. Coming up in about 45 minutes, the Lincoln Stars are at home. We'll carry them tonight and tomorrow. And if they're not on the airwaves, you'll be hearing a little bit of local programming in the morning and certainly plenty of college hoops all weekend long. We are Lincoln's home for the Lincoln Stars, who are Lincoln's home for the NCAA basketball tournament, and of course, Lincoln's Real Sports Talk. Huge shout out again to Buffalo Wings and Rings for letting us hang out for the last couple days down here at 68th and O. It's still open. They're still going. Games go all night. Get down here, get some amazing wings, cold drinks, you name it. They got it. For Strick, for Jake, I'm Austin. Thanks a ton for tuning in. Talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Harrison. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through April 1st is $1 off all pasta, $2 off spaghetti sauce, and special discounts on hamburgers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or also at 168th and Maple Streets in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com.